Hello everyone, I'm Adam Papagan and welcome to another episode of There's a Place, the ASMR talk show. The show that feels good to hear. What's been going on in the world of There's a Place, the world of Adam Papagan? Last night, I'm kind of been dipping my toe into the world of stand-up comedy. And like anything, the only way to get good at it is by doing it a lot. The difference is that you get good at it, 4 and 5 minutes at a time. Not like, there's that Malcolm Gladwell thing, 10,000 hours. Well, if a basketball game is like 2 hours, that's a lot of stand-up you have to do to get to 2 hours time. So it's a slow process, and it's all about learning and exploring your opinions and your thoughts and connecting with other people. But you got to do a lot of really crummy open mics to kind of get good, because that's the way you learn is by doing crap, is by failing. So last night I went down to the Tribal Cafe at Echo Park. They have open mic nightly down there, and Tribal Cafe is this like funky. That's the kind of word my dad would use, but I don't mean funky like Parliament Funkadelic. I mean like kind of dingy, weird. They have smoothies and vegetarian food. It's just a weird place. Fluorescent lights, not conducive to comedy. So, I go sign up, and I was a little late getting started because there was no host. Usually these things have a host, but the host just didn't bother to show up. So it was kind of a Lord of the Flies situation. We all had to band together to get through. One person introduces the next, and that just threw everyone off right there. But everyone in there was a couple people eating falafel or whatever, but there was one woman in there who was older, in her 40s, and I noticed that she was really out of place, and she was drinking a tall can out of a plastic bag. So she's kind of like mumbling and talking to herself. She didn't look particularly disheveled or homeless or anything, but she's kind of talking to herself. She's drinking this tall can. And if you want to sneak a beer into a place, I've done it before. We've all done it. I have no problem with that. But she's kind of like, heckling a little bit, which is just throwing everyone off. So she leaves, and she comes back with another tall can. So I was like, okay, there's something up here. So right before I'm about to go on, the guy before me, she starts talking back to him, giving his opinions about the jokes, her opinion about the jokes and everything. And he was, rightfully so, he was being kind of mean to her. He's like, what are you doing here? She's like, I don't know. And he's like, oh, you're drinking here? Like, that's weird. He's kind of started laying into her. He's like, where'd you come from anyway? And she says, do you know there's a women's shelter across the street? I came from there. And this was not, I don't think the answer anybody thought was going to happen. This is not like a drunk woman at a comedy club at a bachelorette party who was heckling. This is someone who had a very crappy life. They say that comedians are all like kind of sad on the inside, maybe a little deranged. This woman was sad on the inside and the outside. So, nobody had a very good set at that open mic. Everyone was kind of weird, but the thing that I remember most, the thing that touched me the most, made me feel the most, was this woman getting drunk at the smoothie place because she couldn't drink at the women's shelter because they would throw her out. So, just take care of each other, be nice, but also don't interrupt. Let everyone do their thing. That's the lesson for this week. Well, we're getting ready to bring out our guest tonight. She is a artist, a video maker, a veteran of public access television, which is, I always say around here, people who've done public access television have what I call the cable access connection, meaning you understand what it's like to want to do a show and want to get in front of the camera or behind the camera and just do something weird for the sake of doing it. It's a bond that all cable access producers have, so that's how we met each other, but she's going to be a great friend of mine. Please welcome my guest tonight, JJ Stratford.
Hi, Adam.
Hey, what's up? Good to see you.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
So I know you're into technology, more the older technology, but still technology in general. I'm going to the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Yeah, do you think it's going to be cool?
Yeah, I think for sure.
You always hear about the stuff from it, but then that stuff never makes it into the marketplace. Or it does, but it never catches on.
Yeah, that's why I think it'll be fun.
See all the failures.
Yeah, see all the utopian vision of virtual reality.
Yes.
I think that's the big thing they're showing there, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm going.
That's what they're pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The thing that they need to work out with virtual reality, though, is you look stupid wearing those goggles.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that they are still pushing the goggles. Like, if you look at any images from like the 80s and 90s when they were first kind of dipping into virtual reality, it's all goggles, and it looks kind of funny.
It's
They
the
just
goggles
can't get past it.
and like a treadmill that you stand on, and I don't know how you could. I think it's once again a bunch of hype, but I'm curious about it.
I went to SIGGRAPH, which is like a computer graphics convention last year, and they debuted a bunch of different versions of virtual reality, and I was really disappointed by everything. I thought it wasn't very futuristic. It wasn't far thinking enough. But I did ride a bicycle with the goggles on, and it was simulated Pegasus riding.
Oh.
So as you spun your legs on the bicycle, you were flapping the wings, and if you didn't turn the bike, then your Pegasus would start to like float down, and you're kind of going over this like CGI valley. And I thought, okay, that was the only one that reached into a fantasy world, but it was still really ridiculous from the outside.
Well, was it as good as riding an actual Pegasus?
Well, obviously not.
Yeah, they're never.
It never lives up to. Never lives up to the reality.
Well, thank you for appearing on this show. We've, I feel like all these different shows I've done, you kind of like come in and out. It's
I love
fun.
it that I've been on all your shows.
Yeah, all of them. Well, when I was doing the original Del Talk show, I used to watch your show all the time.
That's
Well, when it
awesome.
was on, I don't know how often it was
Yeah.
on, all the time.
All the time.
When
it
I
was
saw
on for
it.
4 years, though. Yeah.
When I saw it, I would watch it.
Yeah.
It was a Dungeon Majesty. Was that the only public access show you ever did?
Technically, yes. I took public access classes in high school. After high school, I took the bus from Fairfax High School to LACC, and I learned how to operate like the TV studio then in high school. But I just worked on other people's shows as a camera operator, was around the equipment.
Was that your kind of first foray into camera work and running a studio and things like that?
In high school, yeah.
Then, when you were in high school?
Oh, I'm sorry, no, junior high school I started.
Okay.
Because I was in a video club, and then I convinced me and the yearbook teacher convinced the school that video was the future. So I was head of production of the video yearbook. So in junior high school, we produced a video yearbook.
I have 2 video yearbooks.
You do too?
That I found, that way I got at thrift stores.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's like the holy grail of found footage.
Oh, wow. Can I watch them? I'll show you my video yearbook.
Yeah, we'll, you could, we'll like do a little dub them. Yeah, I have like a VHS company, so I can dub a nice copy of it.
It
Yeah.
can be on Viper Video.
Yeah.
The last time I showed someone the video yearbook that I made, I swore I wouldn't show it to anybody anymore because it's so really embarrassing.
Well, yeah, that's the point. A regular yearbook is embarrassing, but
Video
this
yearbook's so much more embarrassing.
Tell me about your video yearbook. This was for middle school?
Yes.
Wow.
8th and 9th grade. And then the year after I left, they went back to a regular yearbook. So I don't think that it was around for very long.
Did you have like a part with like the school dance?
Oh, we covered all events. It was just like a yearbook. So we covered the Halloween carnival. We did skits around Halloween. Halloween is like the big special part of the yearbook. So we did like the first year we did the video yearbook, we did skits, and I was Joan Crawford, and my friend was Christina, my daughter. Like we were kind of like Mommy Dearest was her Halloween costume. So they filmed me like chasing her around the school, beating her with a hanger. And another student was Gary Hart, who was a politician that was running at the time.
And then he had an affair.
He had an affair with Marla Maples, who later married Trump. Am I right?
Really?
I think so. Something like, I can't remember, it was a long time ago, but the guy that was Gary Hart, his date or his like their couple costume, she was like a mermaid that enticed politicians. So that's a highlight of the video yearbook, these skits between all the...
And one of the video yearbooks I have is for Culver High School.
Oh, okay.
In I think the late 90s.
Oh, wow.
They're from all different times. That's like another great thing is there's no one video yearbook.
Yes.
But there's a part where a kid, like a senior, is doing a skit about all the places that seniors go to lunch when they leave school. And he's like eating a lot. He goes to McDonald's, he goes to Tito's Tacos. And he's like, let me get 5 tacos, 3 burritos, and a Diet Coke. And he's like burping and stuff. He's got like weird hair. He's got those, those sunglasses that are round sunglasses?
Yeah.
That's not a good look for anyone.
Maybe John Lennon.
He looks stupid.
They looked really bad in the 90s, especially those round sunglasses.
He's got a pink shirt. This kid. I wish they could do some kind of follow-up, though.
Oh, like 30 years later, the video yearbook. Now that's an idea.
High school reunion video yearbook. Did you go to your high school reunion?
No, no.
Because mine's coming up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now with Facebook, that's how they're organizing it.
Oh, so it's no surprise.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm looking at these people. Well, first of all, you can just keep in contact with anyone on Facebook nowadays.
Yeah.
So it is just a high school reunion. And then B, the people who are like stoked on, like, who are these losers?
I don't know. I hated high school, and I'm so happy to leave it behind.
Why didn't you like high school?
I don't know. It's probably like teenage stuff, but I loved junior high, where I made the video yearbook.
Ooh, see, I was the opposite.
And like in high school, I was head of the yearbook, and it was just a book. So it was like that was everything kind of went downhill from junior high to high school.
A little too analog.
Yeah, I was like, come on, give me enough. I just didn't fit in. It was like not. I was really upset that the 90s were even happening. I was like very alive in the 80s, and then it was like the early 90s, and I thought the 90s was really ugly and like bad sense of style. I was really like upset that. boys stopped wearing makeup, and like Nirvana was popular. I just was like not into it.
The 90s were weird. I feel like all the decades kind of have like a more, like the whole decade, 70s disco or whatever,
Yeah.
60s hippies, the 80s like technology, like consumerism, whatever. But the 90s, you had that first part of the 90s that were like the 80s.
Yeah.
And then you had like the Generation X. I hate Generation
Yeah, I
X.
hate that. Are we
offense.
Generation? Or maybe I am. Well, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. But yeah, their whole vibe, they're terrible. And then the end was like the .com thing,
Yeah.
which also sucked.
That also did suck.
90s were terrible. Were you disappointed when Y2K didn't happen?
Yeah, because I thought it would erase my student loans. I thought if the world ends, no problem. At least I won't have to pay back my student loans.
Where did you go to school?
Which school? High school?
You have a lot of loans from your high school?
No. I went to the Art Center College of Design.
Okay, you did go to art school.
I did, yes. Well, I don't think Art Center is technically an art school.
There's art in the name.
I know, it's a trick. It's more of a design and boot camp trade school. Super intense, super competitive. I went for photography and film.
How do you feel you did in the competition? You said it was competitive.
Well, it was a commercial photography school, so people were aiming to get out of school and take photographs of celebrities for magazines and do editorial campaigns. You know, my roommate in college, the minute he graduated, he got the Skechers campaign. And I was unemployed, so it was. I was popular because of my personality, but not because of my work.
Well, that's just
Yeah.
popular is popular. That's your personality is part of your work.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't back then.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know.
that's why you go to
They
college.
basically, when I graduated, they said, they kind of like, oh, I don't know. The teachers looked at my work and it wasn't very commercially viable, so they liked me, but they were like, good luck.
Well, you showed them, or?
No.
No, yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm on your show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem when you get, like, a teacher's telling you something and you're just, yeah, what do you know? But then, like, years later, it's like, oh, yeah, maybe I should have applied myself.
I think that I could have gone on to, I don't know, I was 22. I didn't feel like taking pictures of
Skechers.
up and coming celebrities and Sketcher campaigns and Hummer campaigns. I wanted to make a public access TV instead.
When did you start? So you would take the LA City College classes, but when did you become a public access producer?
In 2004.
Okay, yeah, that was when I was watching the most public access.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember any of the shows that were on, other than your Dungeons and Dragons show?
Skippy Lowe's Hollywood. We
Yeah.
often came on right after that. I thought that was a really, really good spot.
He died not too long ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I
Yeah.
really liked him.
Uh-huh.
And he got really good guests. He'd pull celebs into public access. It was a pretty sweet place to be.
Did you ever see Sally Kirkland's show?
No.
You know Sally Kirkland?
Yeah.
Was it Attack of the Killer Tomatoes or something? Is that what she was
I always
in?
get her confused with, was she on MASH? Who's the lady that was on MASH?
Was on that? I don't know. But Sally Kirkland's like...
She's a
cute for her.
jazzy lady.
Yeah.
A jazzy lady.
She had a show.
Wow. What was it? What type of show?
You just heard like talking to gay guys?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I had known that they were going to end public access So I could have just like taped these shows. There was some really great stuff.
There was some really good stuff. I remember the first day Dungeon Majesty went to film at Comcast near Renmar Studios on Cahuenga, I believe. And so we pulled up and we were in our costumes, and the Three Geniuses also shot there. And so they came out of the studio and then they turned to us and they're like, what? Like looked at our costumes like, you nerds. Like they started nerd bashing us. Like making fun of us. And like, I remember like Bridget the midget was like, Dungeons and Dragons sucks, like from across the street. And that was our like, I don't know, we were really into it because we thought it was kind of cool to have public access beef, like instant nemesis. We were the ones with the weapons, so.
Yeah, the Three Geniuses. That was like one of the first public access shows I saw. Well, Francine Dancer was the first show I ever saw.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. But then like once I started getting into public access, like heavy, I was like, wow, dude, this is the greatest show I've ever seen. And like the first time I met Dan Kapelowitz, when I was like still in high school, I was like, whoa, this guy's on the Three Geniuses. And then, you know, now I got to know him more. Not really that impressive. He's a good artist.
Yeah.
Did you see his Amy Fisher movie? Did you hear about that? He would like it. There's 3 made-for-TV movies about Amy Fisher.
One is with Alyssa Milano.
One was with Drew Barrymore.
That's right.
And one was with somebody else. But he edited all 3 together to make one movie.
Genius.
Yeah.
That is genius.
One of the 3. Going back to the 80s.
Right now.
Let's leave the 90s. They sucked, we can all agree. You used to hang out at a soda place. What was that place called? And the studio lot. You like wrote a thing about it, right? This is going back a couple years ago.
This is my big story. I hope that I can make I've been collecting all the memorabilia and interviews and magazines and whatever I can. And all for this, it was called Alphy Soda Pop Club.
Okay.
And it was a teen dance club for teenage celebrities. But my friends and I got to go because our one of the friends' moms was a casting director. So she had in, so even though we weren't celebrities, we got to like party with the stars.
Well, they would need some like regular people, right?
Oh no, like it was for celebrities to feel like they were normal kids.
Because all kids go to dance clubs.
Because kids, they don't have school dances and stuff like that.
Alphy Soda, who was Alfie? Is that like Alfred Hitchcock? Was it like some like stupid thing like that?
He was the host of the party.
Was he a kid or the older guy?
It's complicated. He was older, but yeah. His father was also a casting director.
So they would have soda. Like describe how this would go down. This is the 80s. Who's there?
It was the best thing ever, and it really.
Corey Feldman.
Yeah, I've lip synced against Corey Feldman several times in my life. Alyssa Milano is my nemesis. She in the lip sync contest, because my friends and I were like, although we weren't on television and we were normal kids, we went to a performing arts junior high school, so we had like the desire to show off. So they had this competitive lip sync contest, and every week we would enter the contest, but we would never win because we weren't. It was based on the applause system. If you're going up against Alyssa Milano, and she's, I don't know, she didn't really have an awkward teenage phase the way we all did, so she always won. I mean, she was prettier and famous, and we were, I don't know, nobodies.
Was anybody ever like, who let these non-famous people in?
Oh, all the time. Oh yeah. I kind of grew up with this like prejudice against child stars. Like, oh, they think they're when I was in junior high, like in my teenage years, I kind of like had animosity towards them because they made me and my friends feel like we weren't worth it, we weren't as valuable or something. In hindsight, I think that's just the entertainment industry and the adults around that made us feel that way. But I remember I slow danced with a partial, celebrity at the time. He was in an arm wrestling movie with Sylvester Stallone. His name was David Mendenhall, and Over the Top is the name of the movie. But I slow danced with him, and then it was like big news at the school the next day. And then everyone was like, "What? How? Why would a celeb dance with you?"
The kind of stereotype about child stars is that they like get into drugs and it's always like a disaster. Was this still, because it was junior high, or was this before
pre-drugs.
that? Okay.
Yeah,
So-
it's the gateway time.
Got it. Were there any signs that, like, looking back on, like, oh yeah, they were kind of dark, or?
In the later years of the club, because the club went on for 3 years. So maybe towards the end, but really it was like a very innocent time. But I could see that it's like preparing kids for partying because you're starting to get used to clubbing and, upping the excitement and being bad and getting attention and all that stuff.
Did you go all 3 years that it was in existence?
Oh yeah, it was
So
my life, that club.
How often would they do it?
It was, I think, twice a month.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. And like, if I got grounded or something and I couldn't go, it would be like the end of the world, like complete teenage misery.
Why did they stop doing it? Did something happen?
It just became uncool. The 90s were about to happen.
Oh, damn, 90s.
The 90s. Yeah, and then David Faustino, he was on Married with Children. He was a real popular person at the club. He started his own club. Because hip hop was kind of getting more popular.
Davey's Ice Cream Sandwich Bar.
It was called Ballistics. It was like I don't know, I heard Eazy-E went there, but David Faustino could have been lying, I'm not sure.
Why would Eazy-E want to
hang out at Ballistics?
He's a criminal, like what? Dan like needs to
These
murder
are Hollywood
people.
legends.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could have gone. Separated by time and
Separated by time,
not
and
being
like you weren't lucky
famous.
enough.
Yeah, I wasn't. Even if I was around, I wouldn't have been. My mom didn't do casting or anything, so I probably wouldn't have got to go. But politics, the election coming up.
Oh yes.
It's a crazy time.
I'm terrified.
Hillary Clinton, you would say, probably has like a pretty good chance, right? Did you hear what she said about aliens?
No, what did she say about aliens?
A couple days ago, she was talking about how when Bill was president, the #1 Freedom of Information Act request was about UFOs.
Oh, of course it would be.
Yeah. And she said that if she became president, she was going to make a task force to get to the bottom of what's going on at Area 51.
Dude, got my vote. See, she's savvy. She knows how to win.
But
She really said that?
yes. No, you can't make that kind
How
of...
did I miss that? Because I kind of following the election pretty closely. Because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of a weird, it's starting to get vague. Like, I think it's just a reality show, like the greatest reality television ever, but then that, it's a vague reality. You're like, wait, this is our lives in our country, but I don't know. It's very cyberpunk to me.
Like, Cyberpunk is like dystopian, kind of, yeah, definitely. I think people are finally starting to realize, not fully realize, because then there'd be rioting, but that politicians really don't do anything. I don't know if they don't have the power to do it, or if they're being controlled by like the 1%. I think it's a little bit of both.
It's a little bit of both, yeah.
But I think people are just realizing that, yeah, you know, if we're gonna have a president, they should like go on TV. Like Obama's on TV all the time doing stuff.
I think that's weird.
It's so weird.
I don't really like it. I mean, you can.
It's on the Zach Galifianakis show.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. But I'm not really into that. I mean, at least Obama's charming and he's got good cadence. But like, I don't want to. I don't want any. I just don't want to. I don't want to see Hillary Clinton or Ted Cruz or Bernie Sanders on any of these other TV shows besides the presidential campaign show.
I like Trump because I don't think he actually means anything he's saying. He's just like being controversial.
Who?
Trump.
Oh, Trump?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he like actually cares one way or another about anything.
Trump's just playing the TV game, hardcore.
That's right. Well, I like TV.
Yeah.
You like media and stuff, so that's why. Also, there's like Orthodox Jews who like support Palestine because they want the destruction of the state of Israel so that the Armageddon will happen.
Oh wow.
That's kind of another reason I support Trump. It's just
you support Trump?
Oh yeah, let's we're on our way out. Let's get this.
Well, let's like speed up.
Yeah, let's speed up our decline. Yeah.
Oh, that's so terrifying, though.
It's happening.
Who's the? I don't know. Sometimes I daydream about the sad fate if it is Trump or Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio. I like can't decide who would be the worst.
They're all bad. That's the thing. See, we need to have like some kind of big cultural change, some kind of revolution, and then I won't. It's funny the things that aren't really problems that like I'm like worried about, like my comedy career, stuff like that. I won't have to pursue any of that stuff.
Right.
So I'll just be trying to live.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of nice.
Right, you're just gonna try to like survive.
In the event of some kind of like cyberpunk apocalypse kind of thing, which movie do you think would be the most like what the dystopian future would be like? Like, are you imagining like a Fahrenheit 451 situation or like Idiocracy?
Or Strange Days.
What's that?
It's with Ray Fine and Angela Bassett. Ray Fine is like addicted to a VR that comes on mini disc, which I'm also really disappointed because VR is supposed to come on mini disc, not like in the cloud or something. Anyway, he becomes addicted to VR, and it's almost like virtual reality becomes a drug. And he like lost his girlfriend to some like drug dealer, and she's now a rock star. And he just keeps playing these like tapes of her, and it's like about to be the end of the world. And I think there's like a corrupt presidential election going on or something. I think it's very scary, the future it presents.
Well, how does the movie end? That might be a clue of what we can do to survive. Oof.
I think maybe he gets the girl back and the ball drops for New Year's Eve or something. But I remember seeing it in the 90s and it just terrifying me.
Well, good times.
Now it's just everyday stuff.
Yeah. Ted Cruz was, see the video of him doing Simpsons voices?
I didn't see him I saw him doing Princess Bride.
Yeah, he did that too.
And also,
he doesn't even have good taste.
I know, I was like, whoa, he's like secretly one of us nerds. Kind of weird. I do like how he sent Trump the jumping the shark from Happy Days. That also I thought was like when Trump was like bugging him up about his birth certificate and whatnot. He just tweeted back the clip from Happy Days where Fonzie jumps the shark. I'm like, whoa,
this
Ted
world
Cruz.
we're living in.
Ted Cruz doesn't need to run for president, but he definitely needs to start hanging out in the gaming shop more.
What do you think? This is kind of in line with the apocalypse. What do you think about the El Nino?
Oh, I love El Nino.
Yeah, it's great, right?
Yeah. El Nino is so LA.
It is.
It's part of the culture.
Every what, 10 years they have it?
Yeah.
People talk about it.
People
It's good.
dress up as it.
Yeah, oh man. Well, I already got my next Halloween costume for making a video yearbook. Take note. Oh, you saw that picture I posted today of the Devo car?
Yes.
Have you ever seen that car driving before?
I've never seen that.
I've seen it once before.
But a Scion with Devo on the side is total de-evolution happening right in front of our eyes.
Do you think that is like, it's like too on the nose? Like it's like going past Devo to like be like too nerdy?
It's almost not nerdy enough. It's more like, do they wear any energy domes while they drive?
There was one on the dashboard.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. I think it's the wrong choice of car. It should be on the Yugo. Yellow Yugo. I don't know.
Yeah, it should be an older car for older band. Not a lot of bands can pull off their own car though. Imagine like a Kiss car.
ZZ Top can.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Alice Cooper's thrift store in Arizona recently.
I heard about that. Oh yeah, you were just in Arizona doing some crystals and stuff?
I was just checking out the scene in Sedona.
Well, tell me about Alice Cooper's thrift store.
Well, his thrift store is in Phoenix, but they have a cardboard cutout of Alice Cooper in the thrift store, and then a TV set with a tape loop about him, how he's donated his old clothes to the thrift store.
Was it good stuff?
And that those clothes are higher priced than your usual thrift store clothes. It was really not a good thrift store, though, unfortunately.
What is the cause that it's benefiting?
I think it supports a teen music center, so kids can learn how to rock.
Okay. Think it might be a tax shelter?
Definitely. He owns the whole block.
He has that baseball restaurant too, right?
Oh, does he?
It's Cooperstown.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I saw that on Yelp.
Celebrity-owned businesses. How many can you name?
Oh, I like this game.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's see. Dash.
Wait, what's Dash?
The Kardashian
Oh, yeah.
store.
I block them out. I have that Kardashian app that
Oh, that's
blocks
good,
it all
yeah.
out. Oh.
Rock and Brews. It's a bar and grill owned by Gene Simmons. It's rock themed.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, it sucks, right?
It's terrible. They sell a drink that comes in a toilet. Wait, what was Steven Spielberg's restaurant?
Dive.
Dive. It's
Very
interesting.
90s, yeah.
And does Bruce Willis and
Planet
Arnold
Hollywood.
Schwarzenegger, do they still own it, or did they
Yeah.
sell their shares?
Ooh, they might have sold it. Still celebrity inspired.
Wait, there's got to be more. There's way more.
There's got to be more, and then not just restaurants. Only restaurants come
Doesn't
to mind.
even Leonardo DiCaprio own a restaurant?
Yes. Toby Keith's I Love This Bar and Grill. Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Buffett's Cheeseburger in Paradise.
You know you've made it when you open up a chain restaurant.
Two. Well, luckily he has 2 songs about places you can go to like, have a beer and
Write the jingle, then open the restaurant.
go on. If you became a celebrity, what kind of store would you open? What kind of side hustle business?
Oh. I don't, probably a videotape business. Because I need to get rid of a lot of them. But that's not very cool, is it?
Mm-mm.
I need, if you're a real celebrity, you have like a clothing line. Ugh. Or, oh, I would love to have my own video games.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Olsens had a video game.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Is it a shopping game?
Yeah, it's terrible.
God damn it.
The world is so bad. See, that kind of gives us hope for the future, though, because looking back, there are a lot of bad things. We're still here, so do
How
your
come when
worst.
people get famous, they only take photos of themselves?
Because you type like on Instagram?
Yeah.
Because if you're following that person, it's because you like them. So you don't care about their
You only like
opinions.
their
You just,
face?
yeah.
That's so weird.
Also, I don't know, it's probably if you're famous, like the longer you're famous or the younger you start being famous, it just warps your reality. Because all they see, they don't have any like regular friends who take pictures of like, I don't know, like weird signs or whatever. Like all their celebrity friends are just taking pictures of themselves. That's all they know.
Yeah. If I ever became a celebrity, I would take pictures of myself. So.
When you were in Arizona, I saw, speaking of Instagram, you went on a hot air balloon ride?
I did, yeah.
What was that like?
Terrifying at first. Like really terrifying, because the 3 balloons go up and I was in the 3rd one, so the 2 went up first. And as soon as they took off, I was like, I don't think I want to do this, but I was surrounded by people, so I just kind of shut up. But like I'd never been so nervous as when we first took flight. But it's pretty spectacular. A hot air balloon ride.
How many people are in the basket?
16 people.
That's huge. How big is the basket?
You feel like eggs. It's big and it's got little compartments so you don't like.
So people can like propose or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's $2,500 if you want to get married on a hot air balloon. I think that's not bad for a wedding.
No, because weddings are expensive.
Yeah. But it costs $200 a person, so it's kind of a lot. But I thought, what? I don't know. I thought they only did it in the 70s. I thought it was like I have to do it now. Hot air balloon isn't going to make it into the future.
That's a good point. That's one of those things that like I've seen it a lot on TV as like a trope or a cliche.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen one in real life.
Yeah. It's massive. It's so cool.
16 people. How do they steer it?
With this like, well, with the air, the hot air. There's these like 3 coils with like propane, I think. And they just like squeeze this thing and this like massive flame comes out and makes this crazy sound. And you start floating up. But
How long did you get for the $200?
like an hour and a half, and then a little picnic afterwards where they give you champagne and like muffins.
Did anybody
and a
propose?
Toast. No, thank God.
Oh, you wouldn't want to see that?
No. I read on their website that you could have a bridesmaids party on a hot air balloon.
What's the hot air balloon captain like?
Oh,
What kind
fascinating.
what kind of person goes into that?
The whole team is fascinating. They joke around a lot with each other on the CB radio, or they make a lot of, like they even made like some Austin Powers joke. Like, does anybody know where that joke came from? And everyone in the basket's like, Austin Powers, like fun. But the captain has been flying for 31 years. And I think they joke around because they know people must be scared. And to kind of like show that they've got it under control enough to make jokes.
Do you think that he captains other airplanes, or is he just like...
I think he's just
he's
in
like
the air.
Yeah. So he's
Hot
like
air.
a frustrated like biplane captain.
No, I think it's just like a floating kind of personality.
Okay. Imagine facial hair.
Oh yes,
Beard, yeah.
beard. Uh-huh. Like leather, cool leather gloves with like a little seam right here.
And what were your other passengers like?
Oh, we're all tourists.
But you were going kind of ironically, right?
Huh?
You're going kind of ironically, right?
No way. I was like, I want to go on a voyage. Well, also because I have a lot of flying dreams. And they're really disturbing flying dreams. So I thought, oh, if I go flying in some like mystical object, like a hot air balloon, maybe it'll change my future dreams too.
Did it work?
No.
Have you had any flying
I haven't
dreams
had
since?
any flying dreams since,
You're cured.
so I'm excited. But I didn't go ironically. I went because I thought it's it's just such a weird fantasy. I have to check it out.
It seems you're talking about your flying dreams and you're like into space and stuff, aliens. It seems like you kind of like a preoccupation, but interest in like getting off of the Earth, being away from Earth.
Yeah, I guess I fight gravity a little bit.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, I'm an idealist or something. I think I would like the drudgery of everyday realities, kind of. I don't know. I just like fantasy things.
Telefantasy. All right, well, we have 2 minutes left. There's one thing I forgot to ask you about Alphys, but maybe if you hear this next 2 minutes. I believe one time you told me your first kiss was the MC Bat Commander. The guy from the Aquabats?
No. The guy from the Aquabats?
Yeah, didn't you say you kissed the guy from the Aquabats?
I liked him, but he kissed my friend.
Oh, gotta get her on the show.
He ditched me, and I wound up playing Super Mario Brothers with his little brother while he made out with my best friend. But
that story may be even better.
It kind of is.
Did you keep in contact with the Aquabats at all? When they started doing it,
they started following me on Instagram, and so I followed them back. But I kind of like not really into the Aquabats, so I stopped following them, and then they stopped following me. So I guess we're friends in real life, but not in cyberspace.
Ooh, but Bat Commander definitely. Maybe you're like the one who got away for him.
I don't think so.
It was a petty cut. No.
No.
Oh well.
It's okay. I'm not missing out.
Anything you would like to promote? Where can people find you? Instagram,
Are we going to roll
Twitter?
to a clip?
You got Telefantasy. You got that show coming out on the internet.
Oh,
right?
Off Hollywood.
Off Hollywood, yeah.
Off Hollywood.
Yeah, check out Off Hollywood. It's cool. It's look for obscure people in the show business and kind of profile them. It's good stuff. You're a real archaeologist of media.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah, well,
I try.
Thank you for
Thanks,
for
Adam.
your work. Until next time, everyone. This is Adam Papagan reminding you that there's a place you can go, and it's your mind. Good night.